In British history, few faces have become as haunting as hers. A single photograph staring coldly into the camera came to symbolize fear, betrayal, and evil for generations. Myra Hindley was not just involved in crime, she became a national nightmare. Alongside one of Britain's most infamous criminals, her actions shattered public trust and permanently changed how the world views female offenders. Decades later, her name still provokes outrage, debate, and deep discomfort. This is not a story of myth or exaggeration. This is the real case of Myra Hindley, a woman whose crimes shocked the world and left scars that never healed. Myra Hindley was born in Manchester, England, during a time of social hardship and strict values. Her childhood was shaped by discipline, emotional distance, and a strong desire to escape ordinary life. As she grew older, Hindley appeared intelligent, organized, and ambitious, traits that allowed her to blend easily into society. To co-workers and neighbors, she seemed unremarkable, polite, quiet, and responsible. Yet beneath this surface, she was drawn to power, control, and rebellion against moral boundaries. These internal conflicts would later align with the darkest influences imaginable. The turning point in Myra Hindley's life came when she met Ian Brady. Their relationship was built not only on romance, but on shared obsessions with domination, ideology, and emotional manipulation. Brady's influence was powerful, but investigators later made it clear that Hindley was not merely a passive participant. She made conscious decisions, supported criminal actions, and actively helped maintain secrecy. Together they formed a partnership that allowed horrific crimes to continue undetected for years, hidden behind ordinary routines and everyday appearances. The case began to unravel when law enforcement uncovered evidence that connected Hindley and Brady to serious crimes. What shocked investigators was not just the scale of the wrongdoing, but Hindley's calm behavior during questioning. The public, who had previously viewed women as unlikely perpetrators of extreme crimes, struggled to accept her role. As evidence mounted, denial gave way to disbelief, and disbelief turned into nationwide anger. Britain was forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Cruelty is not limited by gender. The trial of Myra Hindley was one of the most emotionally charged in British history. Prosecutors focused on responsibility, cooperation, and moral accountability, while the defense attempted to portray her as manipulated and controlled. The court ultimately rejected the idea that she lacked agency. When sentencing was delivered, it marked a historic moment, not only legally, but culturally. The punishment reflected society's condemnation and its demand for justice, ensuring that Hindley would never return to freedom. Even after her imprisonment, debates surrounding Myra Hindley continued. Psychologists, criminologists, and journalists examined whether her actions were driven by ideology, emotional dependency, or personal choice. Over time, Hindley attempted to reshape her public image, expressing remorse and seeking parole. However, for the public and victims' families, forgiveness was impossible. Her case became a permanent study in how manipulation, belief systems, and personal responsibility intersect in extreme criminal behavior. The Myra Hindley case transformed British media coverage of crime. Her image became a symbol of evil, often referenced whenever discussions of dangerous offenders arise. The case influenced laws, prison policies, and public attitudes toward rehabilitation versus punishment. It also challenged long-held stereotypes about women and violence, forcing society to accept that evil can wear any face and hide behind normality. Decades later, Myra Hindley's story remains deeply unsettling. It is not remembered for shock value alone, but for the lessons it teaches about accountability, influence, and the dangers of ignoring warning signs. Her case continues to be studied to understand how extreme crimes develop and how they might be prevented in the future. Some crimes fade with time. Others become warnings written into history. The story of Myra Hindley is one the world will never forget, not because it wants to remember, but because it must.